So hip hop is my foundation, right? That's what I started as. I started as an MC. From that, I made the transition into thespian artistry, right? Film and TV, did a lot of, movies. I'm on a television series right now called Mr. D. I actually play a vice principal on that, right? And I also had the opportunity to write a book. So I wrote a book called Stick to Your Vision. Growing up in Canada, Toronto to be exact, I was a big fan of a song by the Guess Who, right? They had a song called These Eyes. They ain't from Toronto, they're from friendly Manitoba, right? But the song was called These Eyes, and I really loved the song. And later on, I wrote a song called Stick to Your Vision, where I sampled These Eyes, right? Then later on, I wrote a book, like I said, called Stick to Your Vision. Now, throughout the years, people have come up to me and said, Maestro, I want to be a singer. Maestro, I want to be a rap artist like you. Do you got any advice for me? And I said, yeah, I got advice. They said, okay, so what's the advice? I said, don't make records. They said, what? Don't make records? I said, yeah, don't make records. Make history. Anybody can make a record, but by making history is when you do something and you say something that people remember you years and years and years later, all right? Now, the book, like I said, was called Stick to Your Vision. I define vision as a forward, moving, motivating intention. So once again, vision is a forward, moving, motivating intention. So in other words, if you stay still, your vision is going to die, so you got to keep it moving to whatever that specific vision may be. And because I'm an MC, I broke the book in 3 sections. 1, expectation. 2, operation. 3, destination, right? Now, as I evolve, I realized something. You could have a vision, but sometimes you have to have a revision. A revision is simple. You may have that idea what you have, but then you move to a different level, a different profession, different phase of your life. But guess what? You have reference points that you can look back at as you do what you guys do. All right? Now, I'll keep it real with you guys because I'm in Vancouver right now. Right? I'll just be honest with you. The real reason I got into hip hop, I just wanted to get the girls, man. I just wanted the girls to like me, you know what I mean? Like back in the days, the break dancers, man. They do their head spins. I said, let me try this head spin thing. Did a couple of those, flat on my face. Wasn't looking too sexy, right? Tried a couple times again, flat on my face. Wasn't looking too sexy, but I started working on my rhymes. Girls started liking me, right? The confidence started building. I started feeling good about life right about now. I said, yo, I can do this, right? Felt confident. But people told me something. You want to be a hip hop artist coming out of Toronto, Canada? You're dreaming. It'll never happen. I don't know, maybe something happened to me as a baby. I don't know, maybe I fell down, bumped my head a couple of times. I don't know. But I'm the type of person, if I believe I can make something happen, I'm gonna work my best to make that come into fruition. So I said to myself, if there's no hip hop artist coming out of Canada, all I gotta do is drive down to New York City, drop off my demo tapes of all the record labels out there, and somebody's gonna sign me because I'm good, right? Well, I drove down to New York City, but back in the days, we didn't have GPS. So I ended up in a place called Lake Placid. But besides that, right? I found my way, I navigated my way to Manhattan, dropped off my demo tapes at every single record company. And nobody got back to me, right? But one day I came back home. I opened the mailbox, it was a letter from Priority Records. Man, I opened that letter and it said, thank you for dropping off your demo tape, but unfortunately we're not interested in your music. And I thought to myself, you know what? That's all right, because a lot of people have ideas and they stay in their little box. I decided to keep on moving. If this is where it's supposed to end, at least I didn't stop. I took it to where as far as I could. But there's a show on Much Music back in the days called Electric Circus. So for those of you who don't know what Electric Circus is, it's a show where you could sing, you could rap, you could dance, you could do whatever. So I went on one time, and I must have done good because they asked me to come back on again, right? So remember we talked about expectation. My expectation of myself was high, but the operation was actually putting that work in, right? So I went on Electric Circus. I must have done good because they asked me to come back on again. Now here's the thing, I didn't want to come back on again. And the reason why I didn't want to come back on again is because I started getting nightmares. Now the reason I was getting nightmares, it wasn't because I was nervous or whatever like that, because when I saw the playback of what I performed, there was a brother dancing in the back of me, wearing a cowboy hat, Daisy Duke jeans, and cowboy boots. So I didn't know if I was watching Dukes of Hazzard or was I watching Soul Train. All I know is I didn't want to be on the show again. Thank you, Electric Circus. It was cool. Great opportunity, great experience. Thank you, right? But then my manager at the time for Ali Flight said, listen, they're calling you back on to come back on one more time. I think it's a good opportunity. So we went back on, and a label from New York City, an artist, shout out to Stevie B, was in Much Music at Electric Circus, the same time I was performing the song for the very first time, called Let Your Backbone Slide. Right? And I'm proud to tell you, Let Your Backbone Slide is the first single from a Canadian hip-hop artist to ever go gold. Right? The reason I'm saying this, right? Because principle number 2 is operation, and a part of that is doing things you don't really feel comfortable doing. If I thought I was too cool for school and let that dude with the cowboy hat behind me get in my way from going back on again, I would have missed that opportunity. But it happened. Now imagine coming out, I'm from Scarborough, imagine coming out and you say to yourself, wow, I got a record deal now. My single is out. My single's going gold, wow. The Junos are asking me to perform. Oh my goodness, I just want the girls to like me. This is great, right? So the Junos asked me to perform. I got nominated. We performed, and we didn't win. I didn't win. And I thought maybe this is the glass ceiling that I hit, right? But in the very next year, the Canadian Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences implemented a brand new section called the Best Rap Recording of the Year, right? And I won that award, and it was a blessing to me, right? It was a real honor, right? I was nominated for 5 awards. One was Single of the Year. A gentleman by the name of Brian Adams kicked my butt, so I didn't get that one, right? However, I also won for Best Video. Now, maybe you guys don't know what a Juno Award looks like, but it's just a little bigger than a water bottle, right? But it's what it stands for. To me, I reached a destination, right? But there was a gentleman by the name of Leonard Cohen, a great, iconic Canadian artist named Leonard Cohen. Leonard Cohen was receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award, all right? Now, his award was about the size of a grand piano. They had to push his award on stage. I don't know how the hell he got that award, but they pushed his award on stage. Standing ovation for Leonard Cohen for his Lifetime Achievement Award. And there I am, or my 2 little water bottles. So I realized, you know what? I reached a destination. But guess what? Once you reach a certain destination, there are more expectations for you. That's why we got to start revising a couple things as we go along. There was a movie called Hurricane, starring Denzel Washington. A couple of you guys might have heard of that, right? The movie Hurricane was about Reuben Hurricane Carter and how he was incarcerated and a bunch of Canadians helped get him out of prison. Well, guess what? I know those Canadians, right? And they were fans of my song, Stick to Your Vision. They said, Wes, that song you wrote, Stick to Your Vision, we want a song similar to that. So when the credits roll at the end of Hurricane, we want that triumphant type of song as the credits roll. And I got all excited, man. I said, you know what? I think I got an idea. I wrote a song called Perseverance, right? They liked it. Producers liked it. Norma Jewison, who was the director of it, he liked it too. And I thought this was going to be my big international break, right? I don't know what happened, but my heart was broken when I got that call saying, you know what? We've changed our mind. We're not going to use that song. When that movie came out, I didn't even want to see the movie. But I said, now let me see this movie, because I knew Denzel did his thing in the movie, right? But I'm curious to see what they're going to do with this song right now, right? Okay, the movie was great. Everything was great. It was a very riveting movie, tearjerker. The credits were rolling, and here comes this song. That song sucked. I'll play it. I was hating on the song, right? But 2 years later, I was auditioning for a movie called Redemption, starring another Academy Award winner named Jamie Foxx. The audition was kind of cool. I must have done good because I got a call back. The gentleman who was the executive producer of Hurricane 2 years ago, Rudy Langley's, was the same executive producer for Redemption. So when he saw that, he goes, that's Maestro. We liked him from when we did Hurricane. And that's how I got that part. 4th credit in a Jamie Foxx movie, all right? Now, when one door closed, another door opens. And that's something we got to look at and reassess and reevaluate when we talk about revision, all right? I had certain points of reference as a hip-hop artist, and I used that when I moved into acting, right? Now, I got a good work ethic, but sometimes there's naivety. There's certain things you don't know about. One of my auditions I did wasn't too good. I didn't do too good because the first couple roles I was getting, I go in for the audition, I get a call back. I'm like, okay, good. I got the part. I go in for the callback, they like me, I did the same thing. A little confidence is building. But there was one specific time. I went into the audition, like I said, I got the callback. I didn't even bother looking at that callback, because I'm going to go and do the exact same thing I did. As a matter of fact, I was partying the night before the audition. So I'm waiting in the room here, I'm seeing a lot of acting friends coming out, they're feeling good. I looked at the script, I go, oh my goodness, this is 13 brand new pages. I called my agent, I said, listen, I'm panicking right now. I don't think I'm going to do too good with this audition. You'll be fine, Wes, don't worry, you'll be fine. I go, no, I don't think I'm going to do too good. Wes, you'll be fine. I went into the audition, horrible. Came out, I called my agent, I said, you know what? I really didn't think I did good with it. No problem, Wes, I know you did fine. 2 weeks later, she called me back. She said, Wes, I saw your audition on tape, and you were right. You were awful. And she said, we have to have a talk. We have to have a conversation. She sat me down and said, listen, you're in a new arena right now. I don't know what you were doing before, but this is where you're at right now. This agency, we got a name to uphold. And if you want to be an actor now, you got to work with have that same work ethic, okay? So like I said, my expectation might have been one thing, but the operation, when it came to my revision of this new field that I was in, needed a little adjustment, all right? So yeah, I didn't get that part. It happens. But you know what? More roles started coming. I started doing better, right? And then I had to audition for Mr. D, all right? Now here's the thing. When you're an actor, you look at a script and you say, how can I make this character come to life? So this was a school teacher, so I said to myself, okay, I use my mental Rolodex. How can I make this cool, right? So I went to high school in Scarborough called Senator O'Connor, and one of my friends, his name was John Machoki. So he graduated from O'Connor, went to university, came back, and became a teacher at O'Connor. So when I went to visit him, his students would be like, Machoki, what's happening? I said, bro, they talk to you like that? He said, yeah, I'm the coolest teacher in the world. So my wheels started turning, right? The wheels started turning. I said, okay, for this role as a school teacher, all I gotta do is just pretend that I'm John Machoki. Then I might be doing all right. So I went into the audition. I must have done good because I got a call back. Okay, so you know what that meant. Doesn't mean I got the part yet, right? Right? I went into the callback now. Jerry D comes in. He goes, Wes, pleased to meet you. Throw your script away. Let's see what you have. Start sweating. But after I was done, he said, you know what? You're awesome. I said, thank you. He said, by the way, what high school did you go to? I said, I went to a school called Senator O'Connor. Why? He said, wow. I said, wow. Wow what? He said, I got a friend by the name of John Machoki who I wrote the script about. Planet Earth has about 7.5 billion people on it. But the one person I decided to use as my point of reference to play a school teacher was the one person that whole script was about, Mr. D. And I'm proud to say Mr. D's in season 7. I moved from being the coolest teacher to the coolest vice principal, okay? So there's a little evolution right there, right? So, like I said, I started off doing hip hop, I made the transition. I had my plan, I had my blueprint towards a couple things, but I came out my comfort zone. And coming out of your comfort zone, you will have stumbling blocks along the way. Coming out of your comfort zone from one occupation you have, you may have a little stumbling blocks with that transition, right? But don't be afraid to do that. Remember, don't make records, man. Make history. Don't let anybody tell you you can't accomplish what you want to do, all right? Revise yourself. Thank you.